Success is something everyone desires, but what many people fail to realize is that the real starting point is not outside in money, fame, or recognition, but deep within. Every single accomplishment you see in the world began with someone who first worked on themselves before they worked on anything else. A strong business, a powerful relationship, a fulfilling career, all of these are reflections of the person behind them. If you are broken on the inside, you cannot build anything stable on the outside. That is why true success starts from within, and that is the part most people skip. Think about it for a moment. If you were to hand someone $1 billion company tomorrow, but that person had no self-control, no discipline, and no strength of character, how long do you think that business would last? It would collapse quickly because success without personal growth is unsustainable. In fact, many times in life we see people who achieve things they are not prepared for, and instead of elevating them, it destroys them. Celebrities with fame but no inner balance, people with money but no sense of direction, leaders with authority but no wisdom, all become proof that external achievement means nothing without internal strength. When you work on yourself, you create the foundation for everything else. Imagine trying to build a skyscraper on weak ground. No matter how beautiful it looks, eventually it will fall apart. The ground must be solid. That's what working on yourself means. It means taking time to grow, to strengthen your character, to understand your values, to sharpen your skills, to build resilience, and to heal from past wounds. It means becoming the kind of person who can carry the weight of the dreams you are asking for. Working on yourself is not glamorous. It's not the part people post about on social media. It's the lonely hours you spend in silence facing your insecurities. It's saying no to distractions when everyone else is saying yes. It's choosing discipline over comfort. It's studying when no one is watching. It's pushing yourself to go for a morning run when your body says stay in bed. It's learning how to control your anger, your impulses, and your fears. Success is not about what you achieve when the spotlight is on you, but who you become when no one is looking. When you start working on yourself first, your mindset changes. You begin to realize that the world does not owe you anything. Instead, you owe yourself the commitment to become better every single day. You stop blaming circumstances, people, or luck, and you start focusing on what you can control: your effort, your habits, your choices. The truth is, no one can hold you back more than your own self-neglect. Your own procrastination, your own laziness, your own lack of discipline, those are the biggest obstacles to your success. But once you confront them and overcome them, nothing outside can stop you. Look at the most successful people in the world. Athletes, leaders, entrepreneurs, artists, they all invested heavily in themselves first. A world-class athlete spends countless hours training before the crowd ever cheers. A great leader spends years learning, failing, and adjusting before anyone trusts their vision. A successful entrepreneur spends sleepless nights studying, experimenting, and building before their business ever becomes a household name. The results we admire are simply the harvest of seeds planted in silence. Another reason why working on yourself first matters is because life will test you. No one goes through life without storms. Setbacks, failures, betrayals, rejections, they will come. If you haven't built yourself up from the inside, those storms will break you. But if you've done the inner work, those storms will strengthen you instead. Resilience doesn't come from wishing life was easy. It comes from preparing yourself for when life gets hard. That's why focusing on yourself is not selfish, it is survival. You cannot control the storm, but you can control how strong your boat is. When you prioritize your personal growth, your relationships improve as well. People often think success in relationships comes from finding the right partner or surrounding themselves with the right people. That's only half the truth. The other half is about being the right person yourself. If you are insecure, broken, or unstable, you will bring that energy into every relationship, whether personal or professional. But when you are whole, confident, and self-aware, you naturally attract better people and create healthier connections. Working on yourself raises your standards, and your life begins to reflect that. It's also important to understand that working on yourself is a lifelong process. There is no finish line. Every new level of success requires a new version of you. The person you are today may be capable of handling your current challenges, but if you want to go higher, you must grow again. That is why the most successful people never stop learning, never stop improving, never stop evolving. They understand that personal growth is the secret fuel behind every achievement. Success that comes without personal growth is temporary, but success that is built on a strong foundation of self-improvement lasts. You can lose money, you can lose a job, you can lose opportunities, but if you have developed yourself, you can always rebuild, because the skills, discipline, and mindset remain with you. That is why working on yourself first is not just important, it is essential. It is the secret to a successful life that no one can take away from you. Self-discipline and personal growth are the foundations of lasting success. Without them, every dream, no matter how big, collapses sooner or later. Most people want success to come quickly, easily, and without struggle. But what they fail to understand is that success is not a result of wishful thinking. It is the result of consistent discipline and the willingness to grow beyond who you are today. You cannot climb to the top of a mountain without training your body to handle the climb. And in the same way, you cannot reach the peak of your life's potential without disciplining your mind and heart. Self-discipline is the ability to do what you need to do, even when you don't feel like doing it. Feelings are unreliable. Some days you wake up motivated, but most days you wake up tired, lazy, or distracted. If you rely only on motivation, you will fail. Discipline is stronger than motivation because discipline keeps you moving when motivation disappears. Think about athletes training for the Olympics. Do you think they feel like waking up at 4 a.m. every day? Do you think they enjoy every grueling workout? No. But they have discipline, and that discipline pushes them through the pain toward their goal. Success demands the same discipline in everyday life. It requires waking up earlier than you want, staying up later than you planned, saying no to temptations that distract you, and yes to routines that shape you. It means budgeting when you'd rather spend, studying when you'd rather watch TV, and working on your craft when no one is applauding you. Discipline is the price of freedom because the more you master yourself, the freer you become from bad habits, unhealthy cycles, and wasted potential. Personal growth is the other side of this coin. Discipline without growth can turn into a rigid routine with no progress, but discipline paired with growth makes you unstoppable. Growth is about constantly learning, evolving, and improving yourself. Life will not reward you for staying the same. It rewards those who adapt, who sharpen their skills, who expand their knowledge, and who open their minds to new possibilities. If you are not growing, you are falling behind, because the world never stands still. Technology changes, industries evolve, people's expectations shift, and if you refuse to grow, you become irrelevant. Every successful person is a lifelong student. They never act like they know it all. They read books, attend seminars, seek mentors, and learn from their mistakes. Growth is not just about information. It's about transformation. It's about taking what you learn and applying it to become a better version of yourself. Many people consume endless content but never change because they don't apply what they learn. Growth is about action, about practicing until new habits are formed, about stretching yourself beyond your comfort zone. Discipline and growth also go hand in hand. Growth requires discipline because change is uncomfortable. When you try to develop new skills or habits, your old self resists. Your brain wants to stay safe, to stay the same, to stay in what feels comfortable. That's when discipline steps in to push you past that resistance. Over time, as you grow, your discipline strengthens even further, and you begin to trust yourself more. You start to see yourself as someone who follows through, someone who doesn't quit, someone who is capable of achieving more. The beauty of discipline is that it builds character. When you discipline yourself to wake up early, to exercise, to read, to save money, to stay focused, you are not just checking off tasks, you are building the identity of a person who can handle success. Too often, people chase external rewards without realizing that success will test their character. Money tests your integrity. Fame tests your humility. Power tests your wisdom. Without discipline and growth, you fail those tests. But when you have worked on yourself, success doesn't break you, it strengthens you. Personal growth also includes emotional growth. Many people think success is just about skills, but your emotional intelligence matters just as much. You must learn how to handle criticism, how to stay calm under pressure, how to bounce back from rejection, and how to work well with others. Emotional maturity comes from self-reflection, from being honest with yourself, and from facing uncomfortable truths. If you avoid these lessons, life will keep repeating the same challenges until you grow enough to overcome them. Discipline teaches you to delay gratification, and growth teaches you to expand your vision. Together, they keep you moving in the right direction. Success rarely comes overnight, and if it does, it rarely lasts. Lasting success takes years of planting seeds, watering them, and waiting for the harvest. Discipline keeps you planting even when you see no results yet. Growth reminds you that every step, every lesson, every failure is part of the process that shapes you into the person capable of handling success. Think about someone who wins the lottery. They go from nothing to millions in one day. But most lottery winners lose all their money within a few years. Why? Because they lack the discipline to manage it and the personal growth to handle the responsibility that comes with wealth. Now think about a self-made millionaire. They spent years working hard, learning, failing, and growing. By the time the money arrives, they have the discipline to manage it and the wisdom to multiply it. That's why one keeps their success while the other loses it. Another aspect of discipline and growth is that they bring you confidence. Real confidence doesn't come from pretending or bragging. It comes from knowing you have prepared yourself. When you have disciplined yourself day after day, when you have grown through challenges and improved your skills, you begin to trust yourself. You know you can handle whatever comes your way. Confidence is not the absence of fear, it's the presence of preparation, and preparation is the result of discipline and growth. There will always be people who appear more talented or more lucky, but talent without discipline fades, and luck without growth is wasted. The people who succeed long-term are not always the smartest or the strongest. They're the most consistent. They show up daily, they discipline themselves, they commit to growth, and little by little, they create momentum that carries them forward. Life rewards consistency. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you make a small deposit into your future success. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you step closer to your potential. These small choices repeated daily create massive results over time. You don't become successful in one leap. You become successful through thousands of disciplined steps and years of personal growth. That is why discipline and growth are non-negotiable. You cannot outsource them. No one can do your push-ups for you. No one can force you to read, to practice, to reflect, or to improve. It has to come from you. But the good news is that once you commit to discipline and growth, success is no longer a matter of if, but a matter of when. You must heal, improve, and strengthen yourself before you can handle bigger responsibilities, because the truth is, success is heavy. Everyone says they want more money, more opportunities, more recognition, but few people realize that all of those things come with pressure. If you have not done the inner work, those responsibilities will crush you instead of lifting you. The world doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you are prepared to carry. Preparation doesn't begin with external opportunities, it begins with who you are on the inside. Healing is the first step, because unhealed wounds become roadblocks on the journey to success. If you are carrying anger from your past, bitterness from broken relationships, or guilt from past failures, those emotions will show up when pressure rises. Pain doesn't disappear just because you ignore it, it hides and waits for the right moment to explode. That's why you see people sabotage themselves when success finally comes. They never dealt with the wounds inside. Healing means being brave enough to face your past, to forgive where forgiveness is needed, to release resentment, and to make peace with yourself. Without healing, success only magnifies your pain. With healing, success becomes an opportunity to live free and whole. Improvement comes next. Healing clears away the weight of the past, but improvement equips you for the future. Life will always demand more from you as you grow. A bigger platform demands stronger communication skills. A bigger business demands better financial skills. A bigger family demands deeper patience and wisdom. You cannot expect to step into higher levels of life while staying the same person you were yesterday. Improvement is about intentionally sharpening yourself, day by day. It could be as simple as reading books to expand your mind, practicing skills until you master them, or developing habits that make you healthier and stronger. Improvement is not a one-time effort, it is a lifestyle. Strengthening yourself is the part that ties everything together. Strength is not just physical, it is mental, emotional, and spiritual. Life will test you, and when those tests come, you cannot rely on weak foundations. You need the mental strength to keep going when everything around you says quit. You need emotional strength to stay steady when people criticize, betray, or misunderstand you. You need spiritual strength to hold on to faith when the future looks uncertain. Strength does not appear overnight. It is built by consistently putting yourself through challenges that stretch you beyond your comfort zone. Just like muscles grow when they are pushed to the limit, your inner strength grows when you face trials without giving up. Imagine someone asking for leadership, but they haven't learned how to lead themselves. How can they guide others if they can't even control their own emotions or habits? Imagine someone praying for wealth, but they have never learned how to manage the little money they already have. If you cannot handle $100 wisely, how will you handle $1 million? Imagine someone wanting a loving relationship. They are still insecure, jealous, or broken from their past. Even if love shows up, they won't be able to sustain it. That's why the most important work you will ever do is on yourself. When you heal, improve, and strengthen yourself, you become capable of holding bigger blessings without breaking under their weight. Think of a container. If it's cracked, no matter how much water you pour in, it will leak out. Healing seals those cracks. If the container is too small, it can't hold much water. Improvement expands the size of the container. If the container is weak, too much water will break it apart. Strengthening makes the container durable enough to carry more. That is exactly what happens in life. Success pours into people who have prepared their container. Those who don't prepare lose what they were given, while those who prepare can carry it and grow even more. Another reason healing, improving, and strengthening are essential is because success attracts pressure from the outside world. When you rise higher, people will talk about you, some with admiration and others with jealousy. Not everyone will clap when you win. In fact, the higher you climb, the more critics appear. If you haven't done the inner work, those voices will break you down. But if you are healed from the need for everyone's approval, if you have improved to the point where your results speak for themselves, and if you have strengthened yourself to remain unshaken, then no amount of outside noise can stop you. Personal growth is like building armor. Life will shoot arrows at you. Failure, rejection, stress, pressure, but your armor determines whether those arrows pierce you or bounce off. Healing patches up the holes in your armor. Improvement adds new layers of protection. Strengthening hardens the entire suit so you can endure battle after battle. Without that armor, you may still step onto the battlefield of success, but you won't last long. With it, you become resilient enough to win. It's also important to understand that bigger responsibilities demand balance. If you are not healed, improved, and strengthened, success will take you out of balance. You'll either burn out from stress, fall into bad habits, or collapse under pressure. But when you've done the inner work, balance comes naturally because you know your limits, you know your priorities, and you have the strength to say no to what doesn't serve you. Many people lose themselves when they gain success, but those who have worked on themselves first stay grounded no matter how high they climb. A powerful truth is that life always gives you small tests before big blessings. If you can't handle small responsibilities, you will not be trusted with larger ones. Every little challenge you face is preparing you for something greater. When you discipline yourself to heal your wounds, to improve your skills, and to strengthen your character, you are essentially proving to life that you can be trusted with more. Success doesn't just require talent, it requires readiness. And readiness always begins with self-work. In every area of life, career, relationships, finances, health, the principle remains the same: you must build yourself before you can build anything else. A weak foundation cannot carry a strong structure. A shallow root cannot grow a tall tree. A broken person cannot sustain great success. But a healed, improved, and strengthened person becomes unshakable, capable of not only reaching success but also keeping it and using it to create more.